Hello, I'm José Goncalves Pereira, and today I'll be running through my final project. So I have this orange book, which I began filling with research. My project, I was designing a performance space to go on a barge in London South Bank for the London International Festival of Theatre. And I decided to add canopies to it, so I done research into stage design and canopies as well. So I went to the Design Museum and I just done a bit of research into some of the structures I saw, and I found one of the canopies outside to be really interesting. So I wrote about what I liked about it, and I liked the shape and the structure and the use of line in that canopy in particular. I made a diagram of all the things that connections could be. So I thought of neural pathways, and I thought of patterns and things such as plaits and connections such as bridges, and I thought of stuff such as cable cars and underground. And this is all at the start of the project, so I was trying to piece together what I wanted to do. And then I found some more interesting structures. I particularly liked the Orient Station in Lisbon by Santiago Calatrava. And I just researched into several structures, such as roofing solutions and canopies. I then moved on to stage design. Yeah. And I researched into the location of where I was designing. So I found what were good things about the location, and I said that it was in a convenient location as it was nearby to landmarks and to transportation hubs, such as underground and overground stations. I then done further research into stage design, and I researched some more canopies, and I particularly liked the AA component membrane, which is actually in London, so I found that useful. More research into roofing solutions and canopies. And stage design. Yeah, that's it for this book. So I started off by doing perspective drawing, as I thought this would become useful later on in the course, once I knew what I wanted to make. And I done some more research into roofing solutions and how I could interpret these designs into stage design and shelters to go on the barge. And I began researching structures such as canopies that already existed, and I really liked this one, which is called Cover of a Floating Stage by MIX Architects. And this design in particular, I think, influenced my work. And I began to see what it would look like on a barge. I done some more research into the location of the barge, and further research into structures. And then I began model making, and as you can see, this model was inspired by this research I had conducted earlier, and I began to make some more paper models. And I have little flaps throughout the book stating what my aims were, and interpretation of research, as well as problem solving. And then I have sections where I review and evaluate the work and decide what I can do to make it better. So I decided to take the overlapping design further, and I made a model out of wire and mesh. And although I liked the design, I thought it was too robust, and that it just didn't work too well, although it was easy to make. So I developed it and I made it out of nylon, and I've done some drawings. And then here is the next step when I've made it with nylon. After making the nylon models, I decided that I really liked that idea, and here I have samples of how I was going to colour the models, and here I've used ink to colour it, and then here I used spray, and I found spray to be more effective and time efficient. And then here we have some more models I made out of the nylon. And I thought these ones were quite simple, so I thought I'd develop it further. And I began to Photoshop some lighting effects onto it, so you could see what it would look like if it was actually used for a festival. Again, we have the flaps stating my aims for this section, as well as annotation as to what I was doing. And you can see that the work is quite simple, but gradually it develops into something more developed, more refined as an idea and a piece of work. So here they're starting to become more complicated. You can see that it has levels, so it's beginning to look more and more like a stage. And then I found a structure called New Waves, which was public lavatories in the mountains an hour away from Osaka in Japan. And I really liked the curvilinear aspect of the structure, and how, although it's made out of corrugated metal, it's still really curvilinear. And I like the use of the contrasting materials. I found that once I had drawn the New Wave structure, it didn't look too dissimilar from the structures I was designing. So I interpreted the corrugated structure of it into the canopies I was designing. And here we have some of the images of the final piece, which is over here. And this final piece, it features band members of the 1975 who will be performing on the barge in the South Bank. I designed the stage setup, and I decided I would have a series of canopies instead of just one individual canopy. I'm quite proud of the final outcome because it shows how I've developed an idea and made it my own. And I like that there's several canopies, not just one. I think it makes it more powerful as an idea. It works together. There's a sense of unity within it all, I think.